Good morning, Spain. To quote one of my favourite films, welcome to the desert of the real, aka the Instagram sunset.
Okay. Cryptic.
Explain,
cryptic again? I thought I'd play with you again.
I do like
go.
your cryptic things. They make sense once you explain them.
Right, okay. So,
haven't seen the film, by the way.
have you not? What,
Don't know
The
the
Matrix?
reference. Oh, I know. I've not actually watched The Matrix.
Have you
I know
not?
bits of it,
Okay.
but no, I've never actually seen
So
it.
the line reference is "Welcome to the Desert of the Real," which is from a tip of the hat to a book by Jean Brulard, something like that. And he wrote a book called Simulacra and Simulation, and in it he posited that we're heading towards living in a simulation, and therefore distancing ourselves further and further from the real, and we can't tell the difference.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's what the films are about. Yeah.
AI and Instagram and all that kind of
Absolutely.
shenanigans.
Yeah. So I thought it would be a good starter. But the Instagram sunset, as in taking a picture of something to upload to get likes, to get validation, is something we do. And often on the program we talk about social media and it's incongruent and it's false and it doesn't help people all the time. So we get this disconnect from reality. And this has deeper roots than we think. This goes all the way back to kind of hunter-gatherer times as well. So our brains, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm actually listening.
Right.
Goes back to hunter
You're not used to that expression on my face.
Just kill dinner.
Look at this one in the cave.
So here's the thing. So when we were in hunter-gatherer times, we were completely integrated with nature, right?
Yeah.
But nature was wild, untamed, it was dangerous. And gradually, so we would migrate with the weather patterns, we'd migrate with the animals because we hunted them to eat. Gradually, we learned to have tools and things like that. And we began to move away from other mammals because we were able to adapt to our environment, but we took it one step further. We were also able to manipulate our environment to our own gain. And we're constantly striving for safety all the time, which kind of goes back to something you were talking about last week, the adversity. So we're pushing for safety all the time. Yeah. Now we want to live in a community. That brings safety. Now we take that community and we separate ourselves out from the environment. We build walls. You could call it the agricultural revolution. Now I can section off myself from nature or the environment. There's the environment. Here's me. I build a wall. I'm safe. Keep my family safe. And so the price for that was disconnect.
Yeah.
So we're disconnected from the environment around us. And the digital revolution, if you like, social media is no different. We are connecting, but at the same time, the price for that apparent perceived connection is disconnection.
We are more connected while we are totally
Well,
disconnected.
we're completely
Yeah.
disconnected,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a paradox, isn't it?
It
really?
is. We
All
are
the
totally
time.
disconnected.
Yeah, and that's the price we pay for it. But there's a few things going on. So first of all, this is kind of innate within us. We're constantly looking for safety. We're constantly looking to survive. We're also looking for validation, which comes with likes, follows. So we're looking for a dopamine hit, which social media provides perfectly. So a lot of people go, say, for instance, to a social gathering or to see a sunset, to see a waterfall, something like that. And already I will take a picture of this on an unconscious level, if you like, or a conscious one, to post, to then show people how amazing my life is, to then get likes and follows, and then I get this massive dopamine rush.
You're actually living the moment for the post.
Well, you're in the future.
Well, yeah, I think there's two sides to this.
Go on then.
Right, because you've got the very manufactured fake social media people who
Yeah.
go out and go, look, right, I'm going to go and set the light up and stand next to the waterfall and
Yeah,
push my boobs up and all the rest of it.
right.
For likes and validation.
Yes.
You've also got people that go, fucking hell, like, this is fucking, look at that, that's amazing. Or look at this is incredible. Or da-da-da. And what they don't do is go, oh, I'm having an argument with the wife. Oh, hang on a minute, I just got, this is me rowing with the missus. Because you don't want to do that. So,
No.
So what happens is inadvertently,
Very one-sided.
your life looks better
Yes.
because you don't post about the
bad
crap.
stuff. Bad
Yeah.
stuff,
But in your example, what are you doing when we see something amazing and now we pull out the phone to capture it?
Yeah.
So now we're not in the moment.
Instead of enjoying the moment.
the focus
Years
is
ago,
shifted.
my daughter was, there was a birthday cake, and it was something, and I actually said to her, put the phone down and live it.
Yeah.
Because she was watching
That.
it through the phone. And it was like, it was just so, and this was years ago,
Yeah.
when it was like just beginning.
I-
And actually,
Yeah,
not
see,
even
I'm-
looking
I'm-
at the birthday cake, it was just watching it through the
yeah.
camera. It's like,
for instance, we heard of the band The White Stripes.
Yeah.
no.
With Jack. Okay, there's been a band around for about 20 odd years. They're
Okay.
very, very
It's not
good.
drum and bass, you'll be
Yeah,
all right.
that's fine. He won't play on stage if people have got their phones out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he asked them to immerse themselves in the music and the show. Someone else can record it and put it on YouTube for you. Now enjoy the
Yeah,
music.
because most people never go back and look at it anyway.
No.
This is like, oh.
Go for it, go. Without swearing though, but go for it.
So I've got several like different feelings that come up from that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, like the artist,
Yes.
right, I ain't being funny. You're being paid to play. What I choose to do is up to me. Get on with it
Yeah.
and play.
Right.
Secondly, is I agree with you. Filming concerts and things like that, most people end up watching it through the phone, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I do get that.
Yeah.
But also there are moments in there that you do want to capture, and it's generally not the artist.
Yeah.
It's like, look,
You and
we've
your
had
mates.
such
So when
a
the
great
Good Morning
time.
Spain team
So
went
that
to a
when you look
concert
back
together,
at
we had loads of great moments that
Yeah.
we did want
Yeah.
to capture.
And when you look back at it,
On
you
that,
go,
yes.
oh, look at us there. You don't go, oh, I'm going to watch this 5-minute segment of the concert that I've seen. Like
Yes.
you go,
Yeah.
oh, do you remember when we went to
Yeah.
Dean? That was incredible. And that's
Right.
the moment and move on.
Yeah,
I was very much
yeah.
saying,
Point taken.
Yeah.
but what Nando was saying about in the sense of everything's very one-sided, because you will put up like, hey, look at me, but then you're not going like, wow, look at this. I'm being an absolute idiot now and
Yeah.
mean, and I'm going to
Yeah.
share that with you so you can see there's two sides to
Which
my
is
life.
where the
It's very,
incongruence
it's very,
kicks in.
it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
one-sided.
Yeah.
But there's another aspect to this. So it can be argued that our minds do not like being in the present moment. Okay.
Okay.
Because if you think of going back to hunter-gatherer, the environment, which is ever changing, is the unknown and therefore is a threat.
Scary.
Yeah, and we're constant. Even I do it. You know, be in the moment, get yourself grounded down. But actually, that's really difficult for us to do. Our ego, if you like, prefers. First of all, it wants to survive. The being wants to survive, and it needs a role. So we'll project ourselves into the future to anticipate potential threats coming from the
That
present.
makes sense.
Or we sit ourselves back in the past with either sadness, regret, nostalgia, something like that. To sit in the present is really, really difficult for us. So
Okay.
when we're at certain events, and of course the phone now comes out, which makes it far easier for us to avoid what would be like the existential anxiety of, I'm in the present moment, I'm exposed, I don't know what's going to happen. So now I can capture it, and I create this distance between myself and the environment again.
Okay, yeah.
And I can look back at it, or
Right.
if I get a big enough dopamine hit from it, it will become an addiction cycle, and I'm constantly posting, constantly seeing life through a lens or a screen, and not actually living
And that is
Is
in
it-
that
yeah.
matrix world of you're actually living these simulations.
these simulations.
Even
yeah.
when we're still not in the simulation.
yeah.
We're putting ourselves in the
But
simulation.
my point is that there are these very old, archaic drivers behind this behaviour that a lot of people have, where they're now constantly capturing everything. You know, I think in 2014 there were more photographs taken than in the entire history of the camera,
So, Simon,
which is incredible.
do you think it's going to be a major issue for the teenagers now growing up with the phone addictions? How's it going to affect them
You see it
psychologically?
now already, yeah. Like in like at one of the centres I work at, part of the healing process is to take the phone away. They have this kind of complete addiction to the phone, and then of course we can add the filters on it, so you get this bounce back, which is an illusion of even who you are.
That's the bit I don't like, is the filter stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's one thing about going, oh, do you remember us doing this? Or
Yeah.
like we had this incredible experience. So that, you know, when your memories do pop up, you go, oh, look at that. That
Yeah.
was fucking awesome. That was incredible. But to manufacture something, like
It's
to
like
the point
cheating.
where
Yes.
And
like,
being-
there
and
is-
being
Making your
happy if
skin
you
look
win by
smoother,
cheating.
yeah.
So, well,
Yeah.
well, not even just that. There's a new filter out at the moment which gives you the impression that you have Down syndrome.
Oh.
And people are posting
What?
posting
Really?
reels of themselves with a filter of Down syndrome on them to increase the amount of likes that they can get to sell.
Oh, this is just.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not sure. It's shocking, heartbreaking, disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
all of the above. Like,
Right.
it's bang out of order.
But I think a lot of this also with these avatars, when they started bringing everyone getting avatars, that worried me. Because it's like, if we want to start identifying with ourselves as if we were a Mattel toy, a Barbie dolly with these fake skins and all these effects, in the sense of it just making it, I'm going well out there, but if they ever wanted to start replacing people with clones and all these kind of things, wouldn't it be a lot easier if we were already used to seeing people who looked fake anyway, who have this look going on, which seems to be...
Perfect skin and perfect teeth and everything.
It seems to be increasing. I mean, human beings have always had this psychological kind of distress about the self, being vulnerable, being exposed for exactly who I am. But I think it would be fair, and it's amplified now with the existence of the smartphone and social media. You're much more exposed. So it's another, for instance, we're sitting here, all of us are wearing a slight persona because we're on television. And then we have a different sort of persona when we're in with family or with friends or whatever we're doing. So the digital mask is another persona, except we're like a lot of people, especially young people, are now over-identifying with this.
Right.
And so actually, the more you over-identify with it, the more frightening being yourself becomes, which creates more anxiety.
We don't reward individuality
No,
with
we
your
don't.
kids. They reward not being yourself. You have to be like everybody else and obey the rules.
Yes.
And now as you get older, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
There are so many rules and regulations where we meant to be like...
Sorry.
No, Karen.
No, but I think we've got more space for this worry. If you go back, you go hunter-gatherer times, move forward, agricultural revolution. Am I going to get through the winter? Have I got enough food? Am I going to be able to keep my family safe? Will any of my children die? Will we get a disease? All of these kind of, and you work the land, you work sunrise to sunset, all of that stuff. I think it's overly romanticized the past. And then as we've had this sort of technological revolution and civilization, you no longer have to hunt and gather food. You just have to
You
make
have
sure
electricity, you have water, you have food, there's
exactly.
supermarkets,
We're living in
everything's easy.
super luxurious
Too much time
times.
Everything's
to gossip
quick.
and bitch.
Yeah, but also too
Everything's
much
too quick,
time
isn't it?
too much time to face your vulnerable self, which we don't like doing.
And not much growth either.
And not
Got
much
no
growth.
challenges.
Which
Yeah.
you need to manufacture the challenge
Yes, you
and
do.
get yourself out there and do those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
I see that too. It's like this fear to the challenges and...
there's
What are you worried? I mean, you get to see hands-on
Yeah.
the changes through your career, and you've worked with children, for example, for many years.
Yeah.
What are you noticing that is like for you the biggest worry?
I'm not sure if I can say it on daytime TV. The normalization of certain sexual things, because porn is so accessible and it's very twisted. Comparison. A lot of young people with self-loathing because they're constantly comparing. They're bombarded with more information in a day in terms of gigabytes than pre-technology in a year. You know, if you go back to say where people were learning from books and things like that at school in the 60s and 70s, the information we'd have to take on was so low compared to now. Kids are just bombarded and our brains haven't caught up. So I think it amplifies anxiety. There are certain things which are normalized, which are not normal, but they've become normalized, and kids face this all the time. Well, like a lot of the sexual stuff, behaviors, trying to grow up too quick, it's all on this amp, having your life sorted, because we're bombarded with the
Life's so easy. Just
life's so easy, do
make
this,
money
do
on
this.
TikTok or Instagram.
The other thing is the mix of the clash of information, and you deliver information for dog training. You can go on the internet and find an argument for the way you live your life as being good. It doesn't matter. Eat meat, eat vegetables, do this, do that, get up at 5 p.m, at 5 a.m, get up at 10 a.m.
It's almost too much information, isn't it? It's information overload.
Exactly, and a lot of it can just be reinforcing your existing beliefs without challenging. I think we have to leave it there for today. A lot of ground covered, very interesting, and I think definitely to be followed up on, because we have to talk about this. You're mentioning about the porn with the internet and the accessibility. I think maybe we could, I know it's a delicate subject, but I know you'll find the way of being able to talk about it on morning TV.
If you want.
Because a lot of families with young kids are going to be facing this issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and things that maybe was my parents worried about when I was 14, 16 is now 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot
massively
sooner.
amplified now and quite dark.
Ooh.
Oh.
We're having a dark day.
Yeah, dark day. No, it's a sunny day.
A sunny
I'm going to take a picture of it.
Put it on Instagram.
And yeah, absolutely.
And then please like and share.
Otherwise, you might feel
I
he's
need
not loved enough.
validation and dopamine.